Alassane Ouattara, the president of Ivory Coast, has announced that he will run for the fourth time in office. The West African country is scheduled to conduct elections in October, well after he amended the constitution to eliminate the term limit for presidents. His candidacy was under scrutiny. The 83-year-old president made this declaration on television, despite his earlier declaration that he will not seek for office again. He was elected to a third term in 2020. But once Prime Minister Amadou Gon Coulibaly, his hand-picked successor, passed away, he shifted his stance. Well, for a comprehensive analysis on the decision by Ivorian president to run for a fourth term in office, the implications and the role of ECOWAS, I'm now joined by Gadu, retired foreign service officer. Glad to have you join us, Ilyasu.
Yeah, good evening, Indy. I'm glad to be here. Good evening, viewers, too.
Fantastic. How risky is Ouattara's quest for a fourth term to democracy, especially a possible return to the, if you think about it, the era of old guard dictator rule?
Yes, what Alassane Ouattara is doing in Ivory Coast or Côte d'Ivoire, let me use the correct term, should alarm us, should concern us in the West African sub-region, because for a very long time, in West Africa, Côte d'Ivoire was looked upon as a model in terms of democracy and democratic practices. But Alassane Ouattara's decision to renege really on his promise not to contest is already a cause for concern, and it's a cause for the regional body and regional countries, because it signals what everybody is afraid of, as the era of sit-tight rulers. And let's not forget that Alassane Ouattara himself came to power on a cloud of uncertainty and controversy when he won the election against the incumbent president then, Laurent Gbagbo, in 2010, and Laurent Gbagbo, reneged on handing over power to him, and he got a lot of international, support to get back his mandate, which he got, and it was supposed to be, a lesson to Alassane Ouattara. But after 2 terms, he reneged and, changed the constitution, adjusted the constitution to, contest again for a third term. And of course, after the third term, he had announced that he was not going to go for another term. And his chosen successor, Coulibaly, mysteriously died. And now he's, trying to get back there. And incidentally, he's trying to, stop his opponents, in this case, the former President Laurent Gbagbo and Tidjane Thiam, from contesting the election. Against Laurent Gbagbo, the accusation was that he was a convicted person, and for Tidjane Thiam is that he holds a dual nationality. He's of both French and Côte d'Ivoire, citizenship. So he, on those scores, those 2 gentlemen are not allowed.
All right. Well,
so it's a cause for concern, because
with the question of governance issues following events that led to the oust of democratically elected government in Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, what should ECOWAS be doing? What do you foresee any likely scenario?
Yeah, I think the moral standpoint of ECOWAS in trying to, condemn military takeover of power in some countries in the sub-region would be severely questioned, because here we have a situation where one of the major countries and one of the major movers of condemnation against the, military regimes now trying also to now, arrange for a sit-tight situation for himself. And so whatever the ECOWAS would want to say about, military regimes or military taking over power would be vitiated by the fact that one of the prime movers of condemnation against the military juntas is now himself involved in reneging on term limits. In fact, the ECOWAS has a protocol which was adopted in 2001 by all countries against the reneging of term limits, and it was to promote democracy and political stability. But in this case now, when you have one of the prime movers of democracy acting in a way that itself, creates conditions for the military to come over, as we saw in Guinea, Alpha Conde doing the same thing. We saw, we've seen what is happening in Cameroon, in Gabon, and all other places. So it's a cause for concern, really. And I think what the ECOWAS should do is to prevail on Alassane Ouattara not to go that path, because definitely it's going to cause a lot of problems. Remember, there was a civil war in Cote d'Ivoire when Alassane Ouattara was denied his mandate by Laurent Gbagbo, and the international community had to step in to ensure that Laurent Gbagbo handed over the mandate of the Cote d'Ivoire people to Alassane Ouattara. All right. So it's not a good development.
Well, Ouattara, he's 83, is contesting at 83 years of age. He says it's because of security, economic and monetary challenges the country is facing. But he has been at the helm of affairs. What's your sense of his reason for wanting to recontest or contest again?
Well, in those words, it's a matter of self-indictment, because he's been in power now since 2011, and that if there is any, there are any issues of insecurity, economic issues, economic problems, the blame should be on him, because he had been ruling. And in fact, one of the reasons why he was, voted into power was because of his experience as an economist, as a technocrat who had worked with the IMF and the World Bank. So if within all this time he has not been able to solve the problems in Cote d'Ivoire, then it's time for him to move for somebody to take over, so that they can begin to reset and see where they can make Cote d'Ivoire work again. Because actually it's a matter of failure on his path. If he says that he's taking over, he's staying over because of insecurity and because of economic issues. So on that score, and then age is not also on his path. Because at 83, he's well past his sell-by date, so to speak, and he should by now be able to say, look, I'm done, I've done what I could do, and let a younger person with better attitude come into the play. But in trying to perpetuate himself.
Before I let you go, let me ask you this question. He has changed the constitution. What is really the cause where African leaders, some African leaders, want to stay and stay and stay? You have that of Togo's Faure Nasimba, you have that of Cameroonian Paul Biya, you have CAR Faustin Touadera. He's seeking a third term. Why is this occurring? Why? Because if we don't understand the root cause of the problem, I guess ECOWAS and the rest of Africa won't be able to tackle it.
No, the reason actually is that most of these leaders who try to stay in power against the run of play, sit-tight rulers, if I would call them, are people who don't have plans. If they had plans, they would be able to state, how they intend to rule, what they intend to do while there, and then an exit strategy on how to move, and then allow for continuity by bringing or allowing other people to come in and, do what they have not been able to do. Because you cannot solve solve the problems of a country in your lifetime. You can even stay there as. So in the case of Ouattara, it's a disease really in Africa, where rulers, when they come in, because they don't have plans, concrete plans, realizable plans. They try to, and exit strategies. So this is what's happening, and it's very unfortunate. So in the case of Ouattara, it's a clear testimony of what we are talking about. I don't think if we give him another 10 more years or 15 more years, he'll be able to solve the problems in Cote d'Ivoire. They're beyond his ken, and he's also too old to be able to solve some of those problems.
Yep, I think you couldn't have put it better. He had to even change the constitution, to continue in power. But we'll leave it there. Gadu, retired foreign service officer. We'll see how events play out and see what happens. Thank you so much for being on Newsnight.